What's going on social media? This is going to be your bi-weekly market update looking at 4 single-family markets here in Miami-Dade County. Before I jump into that, I do want to say that I make these update videos every 2 weeks, and I do also post a lot of other content related to the real estate industry. So if it's been helpful to you or it's interesting to you, or you can think of anybody who would also be interested by it, please do let me know by liking this video and perhaps sharing one of them with whoever that is. Also keep in mind that at the end of these update videos, I do also include a little bit of an update for the real estate, finance, and economic situation as well. And so jumping into this update, I'm going to be covering 4 different markets in Miami-Dade County. I'm going to be looking in the area of Coral Gables, south as far as US 1. I'm going to be looking in the area of Sunset by 33173. I'm going to go a little bit further west over to 33196, just north and south of the Miami Executive Airport. And I'm going to be going further south to Richmond Heights, Palmetto Estates, and West Perrine as well. And so jumping first into the Coral Gables market, in the last 14 days, we've had 7 closed transactions. 3 of these 7 were closed in cash. The highest price closing was for $2.13 million. This was a property that was built more for the plans because it's going to be renovated as well. And so this property was purchased with cash after being on the market for 90 days below the asking price by $60,000. The lowest price closing in Coral Gables in the last 14 days was for $712,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property that was built in 1957. This property had 1,463 square feet. It did not have a pool and it was not on the water, and it was purchased with a financed offer after being on the market for 99 days below the asking price by $63,000. There's currently 101 active listings in this area of Coral Gables, and this is the same amount of active listings that we had on our update just 2 weeks ago. And so the level of active listings has not changed in the last 2 weeks. However, the days on the market, so the amount of time that the active inventory has been sitting on the market at the median, has increased by 7 days all the way up to 62 days on the market. Moving on to our next market update area of 33173. This is going to be the area of Sunset. In the last 14 days, we have had 4 closed transactions, and only one of these 4 closed transactions was in cash. The highest price closing was for $3.75 million. This was a 2021 new construction property that had 6 bedrooms, 6 bathroom, and 1 half bath. It did have a pool, but it was not on the water, and it was on the market for 94 days before closing for the full asking price. Our lowest price closing in this area was for $585,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property that was built in 1960. It had 1,300 square feet. It did have a pool, but it was not on the water. And it was purchased with a financed offer after being on the market for just 6 days, above the asking price by $10,000. This area has 42 active listings. This is 1 more active listing than our update 14 days ago. But the median time on the market here has actually exploded by 11 days, all the way up to 47 days at the median. Moving on to our next update area of 33196. This is going to be just north and south of the Miami Executive Airport. This area had 10 closed transactions in the last 14 days. None of them were closed in cash. The highest price closing was $760,000. It was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom property that was built in 1995. This property had 2,412 square feet. It did have a pool, but it was not on the water, and it was purchased with a financed offer after being on the market for 35 days for the full asking price. The lowest price closing was for $445,000. It was a 3-2 that was built in 1998 with 1,107 square feet. This property did not have a pool and it was not on the water, and it did also close with a financed offer after being on the market for 130 days below the asking price by $25,000. There's currently 81 active listings in this area by 33196, and this is only 1 less than the amount of active inventory we had at the update 2 weeks ago. However, likewise, the days on the market in this particular market has also exploded by 11 days, all the way up to 48 days on the market. Moving on to our last update area of Richmond Heights, Palmetto Estates, and West Perrine. This is going to be south as far as 184th Street, southwest 184th Street, all the way north up to the Cutler Drain Canal, and then between the Turnpike and between US 1. And so in the last 14 days, we've had 5 closed transactions. The highest price transaction was for $519,000, almost $520,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property that was built in 1986. This property had 1,529 square feet. It was on the market for 6 days before being purchased with a financed offer for the full asking price. The lowest price closing in this area in the last 14 days was for $360,000. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom property that was built in 1964. This property had 1,052 square feet, no pool, and it was not on the water. And after 17 days on the market, it was purchased with a financed offer, with an FHA financed offer below the asking price by $30,000. So congratulations to that FHA borrower, not only for the purchase, but also for the reduction of asking price. In the last 14 days, the current inventory count is down to 53. This is 4 less than our update 14 days ago. The days on the market in this particular area has increased only by 4 days on the market, all the way up to 55 days on the market. Moving on to our finance and economic update more broadly, the primary mortgage market survey was released today, and it showed an average 30-year fixed rate mortgage increasing to 6.29%. This is again by Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey. At the time of our last update, it had increased all the way up to 5.89, and then last week it was increased to 6.02, and this week it showed another increase all the way up to 6.29. This accompanies the Federal Reserve raising their target federal funds rate from 2.25 to 2.5. They raised it 75 basis points all the way up to 3 to 3.25. They also did reaffirm that they're going to continue reducing their holdings of Treasury and mortgage-backed securities. Dialing in a little bit closer to Miami-Dade County, we currently have an active inventory for single-family homes at the time of this recording of 3,755 single-family active listings. This is about the same amount of active listings that we had going back to November of 2020. This is also similar to the amount of active listings that we had on the update for July as well. And so there's not a tremendous increase or decrease or change at all in the amount of active inventory that we've had over the last 2 months. The median percent of list to close, meaning the property was listed and what it actually closed for, decreased down to 97.7%. And the median time to contract has increased up to 21 days on the market. This is all for single family home information. And so the lowest in the cycle, in the most recent cycle, was down to 14 days in April and May, meaning it took 14 days at the median for a property to be listed before it went under contract. And that has now increased from 14 all the way up to 21 days on the market, which is still honestly not much at all. Foreclosures are up by 100%, which sounds terrifying, but that just means that we went from 8 foreclosures in July to 16 foreclosed transactions that were in August. 16 is also a almost meaningless number in the size of the county that we are in. Short sales in that same period of time from July to August, they now decreased from last August, they decreased 58%, where last August we did 12 closings of short sales. This August we only did 5. We are currently adding more $1 million and above inventory, and we're closing less $1 million and above inventory, so we are going to start seeing more inventory in the $1 million plus category starting to build. For the $600 to $1 million category, the move-up buyer, we're adding more inventory, but we're also closing more inventory. So this is just a very active segment of the market, $600,000 to $1 million. A little bit lower to the $400,000 to $600,000 market of single-family homes. Again, this is for Miami-Dade County. We are adding a little bit less, but we're also closing a little bit less. And so this whole market in general is also cooling off as well. The time to close has decreased all the way down to 61 days before closing. To get some context, prior to COVID and prior to the kind of digital world that we currently are in, the normal time in the market before close would have been about 90 to 100 days. This has now decreased down to 61 days in the market. However, showing the slowing activity that we have in terms of pendings being down and closings being down, we are still seeing the speed at which properties are closing, transactions are closing, has not changed at all. So this seems to be something that we've adopted in this new digital world. And there's no reason to expect why this is going to increase back to a slower transaction timeline. Between July and August here in Miami-Dade County, we are net positive, just 86 listings. Again, this reflects the active inventory that we have for Miami-Dade County, being similar for July and August as well. We are net positive, just 86 listings for single-family homes in Miami-Dade County. The month supply of inventory has increased from the low back in March and February of 1.7 all the way up to the August high of 3.3. That is still indicative of a seller's market. However, we are certainly trending towards the direction of more of a balanced and then perhaps eventually a buyer's market rather. So again, if any of this is helpful or you can think of anybody who would like to know some of this information, please do let me know by liking this video and sharing it with them. And as always, you guys stay safe, take care, bye-bye.